But I want to welcome everybody to my channel, The Candy Shop. I am so excited. The Candy Shop. So this is my story time, The Candy Shop. How is everyone doing out there? The Candy Shop. I am so excited. The Candy Shop. I am so excited. The next topic we are going to talk about. This is a tough topic. Is there really a difference between Black women and white women when it comes to dating? Why do Black men feel the need to throw that in a Black woman's face? So before we start on this, I want to say this. I do feel like it's a difference culturally, but we're all still women. And so I don't take offense to a Black man dating a white woman. What I do take offense to is a Black man throwing it in my face as if I am beneath this woman that he's dating, because just simply because of her culture or her color. So I just want to make that clear. I don't want to bash any race, but I feel like in the end, we are still all women. Not know all lives matter though, but we are still all women. We function the same. We are just culturally different. So I'm going to start with Kenny this time. What are your thoughts on this?
You had to start with me. Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me say this. I'm gonna keep it funky. I'm gonna keep it 100. I think all women are beautiful, no matter what color. All women. My particular preference is I'm gonna always put Black women first. That's just me because I was birthed from a Black woman, so that's just me. I'm not going to diss another man that likes to date outside of his race. You do what you do. We all attracted to what we're attracted to. Now, I have a problem with that. The last part, what you said. Why do Black men feel the need to throw that in the Black women's face? I think that's on that Black man that's probably felt like that he's been dissed by Black women, and he was labeled as the corny guy, or he couldn't talk to a Black woman, didn't find him attractive, but then he found other women that gave him attention. So now he's gonna throw that in Black women's face. So I don't even count him because he has some personal internal issues that he has to deal with dealing with Black women. So is there a difference? Probably, yeah. I probably would say that, but I can't honestly answer that because I've really only dated Black women.
Okay.
Now, women been attracted to me, yeah, I can say that, but I've only really dated Black women. So my my thing with this particular issue, I can't really speak on it really because I've never dated white women. Now I find white women attractive, but I've never dated a white woman.
Okay, thank you, Kenny. I do like Daricel's comments. She made a couple of comments, but this one especially, some Black men look at it as a come up to date a white woman. So I can agree with that. Freddie, I'm gonna go to you next, and then I'm gonna go to Bert last. So
Okay. Okay. So full disclosure, I have dated, interracially. When I was younger, older as well. Long story short, I grew up in New York City. I went to Brooklyn Tech High School. So while all my best friends went to schools in Harlem, I went to Brooklyn Tech. It was a special high school. 7,000 students, only 500 of them were Black. So the pool of candidates was obviously smaller. So I dated Asian, white, early on when I was younger. So for me, I was exposed to that at a very early age, and there are definitely some differences in dating different races, and in this case, even white women. As I got older, got married at 21, then of course I got divorced at 30. I love women. I actually do not have a type whatsoever. I'm only angry that now in 2021, the white women that's out here now didn't look the way they looked back then. And my 20 years going back, they had more flatter asses. They always had breasts, and they always, was into oral sex more than Black girls. But now the the white girl body is as banging as the Black girl body. You can't always tell the difference. They eat more chicken and shit than we do. So, I'm only angry about that part. Having said that, I agree with what Daracel says. You mentioned it already, Candace. Culturally, there's a lot of differences. We know that. But in terms of attitude, I think white women are groomed to be more submissive. You know, I think by nature of being a black woman, you have to be strong. You have to challenge everything because you guys have to fight for everything that comes your way. The statistics that stands out and on this topic for me was the one I covered on Wednesday that blew my mind doing the research. From the moment a black woman is sick, from the point she's 16 years old, her pool of candidates of black men starts to shrink from the time she's 16. For white women, it's 32. 32. So her options are out there. So for black women, they have a legitimate reason to be a little bit angry, to be a little bit, you know, on edge and stuff like that. So there's definitely differences, but the statistics that I looked up also showed that, believe it or not, black men are more with black women as more of the norm. We just see more of the interracial relationships. Now, as far as the black guys that throw it in the black women's face, those are assholes. Those are guys that, for whatever reasons, they want to. Kenny said it best. Maybe they're hurt because they felt slighted, challenged, whatever. But my thing is that whole it's a step up kind of thing. Those who do that, to me, that's their level of maturity. So my own personal experience, even where I'm at now, I've come full circle. As I look at my pool of candidates, I truly can say this. I'm open to whoever fits my standard, whoever that might be, you know. Now, if you asking me who I find most attractive, I still find black women as the most attractive women on the face of this fucking earth. Having said that, if I ran into an Indian, an Asian, and whoever, and we hit it off, because I always tell people this, as you age and your opportunities decrease, your standards change.
Yeah.
You know, so where I am at this place in my life now, younger, it would have been about other things. Now it's about compatibility. Somebody that matches me on other levels, and whoever that might be, I'm okay with that.
Okay, thank you, Lee. So, Bert, what are your thoughts?
Ooh, that was a tough one to follow. Bat and clean up. I've dated interracially. The same deal, younger, older. There's not too much that's different, to tell you the truth, except for, and I do agree, Candace, like cultural, you know, maybe with some white women, it's more of like a privilege. Even if they get a little snooty with somebody or for cop, it's what do they do to her? Whereas with a black woman, it's the angry black woman. Because I've seen both sides. I've seen where white women turned up over the smallest things that a black woman would never turn up on. You know, so I've seen both sides of the spectrum. So if there's any difference, it's at that level. And that's just, and that's about it.
All right.
Now, as far as what you were talking about with the men that would throw a white woman up in front of a black woman's face like that, I just think that it's just a weakness, and I agree with the gentleman panel that it's just you hurt, you know, because I've never done that to anybody. I would never say, oh, that's why so and so and this is why, and you're not.
That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Why would you do that? That has nothing to do with anything.
Right.
And actually, I'll say this, and Jay said the same thing. That's a weak man. When it's been thrown in my face, that was from like young boys, like teenagers, men, not men. So I'll say this with men. A man knows what he wants, and there's nothing wrong with wanting a white woman or a black woman. Like we like what we like. Some people like different things. I'm gonna let you comment, Hannah, and then I'm gonna finish my thought.
Okay, so my comment is I see a lot of this that you have to be submissive. You have to be submissive. Like, what does that mean? Because people get, like, I have friends that get mad at me because I believe that the woman should make the man's plate. I believe the man that eats first. And it's not, I'm not gonna say I'm submissive because I am a strong woman. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not. I'm very strong. I'm used to looking out for myself. but I also believe that the man is the head of the household, and I would respect his decisions over that. So I feel like a lot of men think because if you're black, you're strong, you're independent, that you must bow down and kiss their feet. I don't know what men always say they want a submissive woman, but do you really know what that means? Or are you just saying that because that's just the thing to say out your mouth? And a lot of men say that white women are more submissive, and that's why we go to them. But my thing is, when I have nothing against out interracial, I feel like you love whoever makes you happy. And my thing is, just don't throw it in. And that goes if you're a black woman dating outside your race, or if you're a black man dating outside your race. I feel like don't throw it in the other person's face. If you want to date that person, make them happy. If it makes you happy, that's the end goal. I mean, once yourself is happy, if you find somebody else that complete that happiness too, then go for it. But I don't think that people really realize. I don't know why some of these newer men. It's not the older, more mature men. It's these young fools out here who thinks that if a woman is not bowing down and running behind you and throwing your robe on you, that doesn't always happen. But they see that on TV. They see that on social media, on the TikTok and the Instagram and everything, and they think that's real life. I'm sorry, you want to say something?
Yes, please.
No, I was just, whenever you finish, sweetheart. I did a show a couple of months back called Submission, That Dirty Word. And it was based on an interview that Fantasia had doing an interview where she talked about being submissive. So Daracel is making the point, that submission is not a dirty word, to be honest with you, but it's turned into one. Submission is a beautiful thing, to be honest with you, but it doesn't mean lording over somebody. So it's not getting somebody to kiss your feet, they're your slave. It's an order, because if you truly in a relationship, there's somebody over that man as well. The truest relationships that are working, there is a threefold cord. There's the woman, and there's the man, and there's God. Because now, if you're following those tenets, and then you're leading that person, if you're worthy of leading that woman, a woman will follow a man if he's leading correctly. If he's making decisions that are for the betterment of that couple, and if you can demonstrate that, I think women will be okay with that. But a lot of women, like you said, Hannah, this new age generation, they take it as a dirty word when they hear the word being submissive, to the point where they want to take that even out of the wedding ceremony. They don't want to hear that in the wedding ceremony, to love, honor, and obey. Being obedient is not a dirty thing, because I'm going to say this last point and let you get in there. Even when I was married, I am the head of my house, but that was my wife's house, not my house. She makes the decisions. You hear the expression "happy wife, happy life." I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Bert. My thing is, even if my mama came to visit, Freddie, what can I say? Ask Michelle. This is her house. You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, I'm going to be obedient and follow her direction. A good leader knows when to lead and knows when to fall back, and it's okay. It's okay to be submissive.
Yes.
I'm gonna continue my thought, but I'm gonna let Kenny say whatever he has to say.
Kenny.
It's gonna be real quick, and I want to kind of add on to the first part of this question. Is there really a difference between black women and white women when it comes to dating? And as a black man, I would say this: yes, it is. And the difference is because the thing about it is, I know who I am, and I'm pro-black. And I'm black all day, blackity black to black all day. So when it comes to supporting black causes, and it's come to Colin Kaepernick or whatever it is, if you can't deal with me being pro-black, and if we can't be on the same page, then we're gonna have problems. So I will say that there can be that. If it's a white woman want to date a black man that's really pro-black, there can be it's a fine line there. So you have to be able to walk that fine line. Okay. Shahana, go ahead.
I'm so glad you said that, because I want to piggyback off that just for a second, because That's the thing, because if you're a strong black man, it'll be hard to really be at your, for lack of a better term, at your zenith. Sometimes if you with somebody of a different race, because they might not be able to understand fully what you're going through, what you're experiencing, what you're actually seeing. So that was a good point. That was a good point that you brought up. I like that.
I know, Candace, I know you're gonna get in here, baby, but I would be remiss if I didn't say this. The part that pains me about that, you brothers are so spot on in ways that you cannot believe. Here's what saddens and breaks my heart, though, that in a lot of cases, it is another race that will be supportive of you as a black man hitting your zenith. And sometimes our own people, if you took a poll right now, how many of our generation out there right now really know who Martin Luther King Jr. is? Really know what Malcolm X did? Really know about the civil rights struggle? Because we're so lost of self in our own culture that this newer generation, even if they're our own sisters, sometimes they're not always as supportive. And to your point, Bert, and you hit your zenith, and then where the white woman a lot of times is made to come up is because I'm gonna say it again, they're bred to be supportive. They're bred to be supportive.
Okay, let me
So
just finish my point.
Yeah, after Hannah makes her point, I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench into the situation.
So I'm gonna say this right there. I wanted to say my point before this, but I'm just gonna piggyback off of Lee. Other races may be supportive. They might say, I'm gonna rally with you and walk with you. But what do they contribute to that? You can support me all you want, but what are you contributing to that? It can be, we can have white allies and say, I'm going to walk with you. I'm going to be with you. This is wrong. But what are you doing? Are you going to join the fight with us? Or, so let me do this simple. It's some people that feel as though I'm not going to put my child in this school because it's urban. And they're angry about it. They're upset. They're writing letters. But they're not going to put their child in that school. So you can be on my side, but you're just a part of the problem as well, because you're not going to do anything to really be on my side. You can be on our side by voice, by typing, by out there. But being on your side is being on your side and contributing to what you believe in. And I'm not knocking any other race at all. So I don't want anybody to take what I'm saying out of turn, because I support all love. I don't care who it is. I've never been that type that feels, oh, you should date within your race, or why is he dating a white woman? Like, I can care less. This don't make it seem like you're inferior to us, because when it's some black men out here who will date white women, talk bad about black women, and then if that doesn't happen to work out, they run to a black woman to build them back up. Like, no. Go back. So I agree to that. And also, I wanted to go back to my original point of the submission. Lee, you made a good point. Our generation knows that there's nothing wrong with submission and knows that that's not nothing wrong. But the new generation feel as though submission is just basically kissing their ass. And that's not what submission is. Like,
It's because
I don't understand where it got twisted. We went to his family's wedding. Was it last year, the year before last? They took submission out of the vows. Like, it's not even in the vows.
This new generation doesn't go to church, but that's a whole nother topic.
They do. They skirts is up to their chest. I mean, we used to wear stockings.
Hallelujah.
Cover. Govern yourself as a woman. And now this new generation is just showing every bit of ass, titties, and damn near vagina out here. Men are literally sending dick pics as if it's selfies nowadays. It's no on both sides. So I feel as though
very true.
I think that I don't think that black women don't submit. I just think that it depends on what woman you choose. And some people say, like some women who were raised in the church, they know what submission is, but you can still be yourself. But I don't think people realize which submission is before to what it is now, because they have these videos that my sons showed me that I told them that's not real life, sir. That the guy came home, the woman she was a white woman. She was crushing his ice when he walked in the door, making it circular, putting it in his mouth, taking his shower, making sure it was 2 degrees, making sure that she put his slippers on his door. Before he walked out the car, she had red carpet and stuff. That's not real life. I mean, if he's having a bad day, yes, I'm going to make sure he's fine. I'm taken care of. Everything is going to be because you deserve that. You are the man of the house. You deserve that. I believe in that. But also, I don't think that I have to circle your ice cubes and crush it up for you to be submissive. Like if it's ice in the freezer, I'm going to make sure your drink is cold, but I don't have to be submissive because you want it rolled and I'm not licking the ice cubes off or crushing it in circular motions. So Lee, you made a good point. Submission back then and what submission means now are two different things. And I wish we had that old school mentality. Like, can we just bring that old school? That's why I can't date younger men. Like, I can't do it. Like, I can't do it because I don't have that mentality to put up with nobody's son.
DJ say this.
So I want to go back to Siobhan's comment. It actually, and Hannah, I wanted to invite you on this, but me and Siobhan and some other girls we rented a cabin for the first week of March. And
You told me about that.
Yes. So it's the first week of March. We already done paid our money. But if Hannah wants to come, Siobhan, I'm bringing Hannah.
You know that's my birthday month.
Oh, yes. So I'm going to bring Hannah. It's her birthday for free. She can stay in my room. But no, I wanted to go to Siobhan's comment because this is something me and my husband have talked about. So she said there are men, basically men are bred to be providers. The white men are bred to be providers, which gives them the space and freedom to rest in their femininity and be submissive. Speaking of white women. So I do feel like we are raised differently because as Black men and Black women, we're raised to work hard. We both have to work. We both have to provide for the household. We both have to take care of our families. So, and I'm not going to say Black men are not taught this because they're taught this as well. And there are a lot of Black men that are taking care of their families. But it's like, when are we taught to actually function together as a couple? And that can go back to, I hate to say this, but that can go back to slavery. Our families were split apart. We were married to breed together, but we were never put together to actually function as a married couple. And so that's what it boils down to. Now, the monkey wrench that I wanted to throw into this is the colorism in the Black community. Because we can say all day Black men like white women and all this other stuff and well, whatever, but let's take it to our community. There's colorism within our community. I'll say this, Hannah may be viewed as a more aggressive female based off of her color, whereas in my experience, I'm not high yellow, but I'm a lighter skinned Black woman. I've never been viewed as aggressive. People always view me as this innocent person, and me and Hannah are the exact same. We're the exact.
Are so bad. We are.
Like everything, and I think that's where it starts. So I don't blame white people and how they've raised their children. I do blame slavery, but as in our community, it starts with us, and so it's how we view us. And y'all cannot ignore the colorism that goes on in our own community, because me and Hannah are to me the same. But in some circles, we will be viewed differently just based off of our skin tone. So go
same
ahead.
for men too. Same for men too. Same for men too. My skin tone and birth is totally opposite. So I would probably be viewed as more aggressive and more angry as a Black man.
And I'm a pretty boy.
So it works. It works both ways.
Can I just say this? I'm happy that Candace brought up colorism. Because I am a dark-skinned woman, and I've heard the comments left and right my whole entire life. Or if someone saw me like, "Oh, you're cute for a chocolate girl," like, what does that mean? Like, what do you realize what you're saying out your mouth? Or there are men who women feel as though if he's light-skinned, he's soft. Mm-hmm. If he's light-skinned,
El DeBarge soft.
Yes, he's not a provider. He's not a protector because he's light-skinned. Which Bert is mellow yellow, but I know he's gonna protect us at any cost. I know that if something go down, minus the weapons in here, he got it. Them hands going, these arms, come on, put them up. These arms going to knock somebody out. But I'm not going to lie. The younger me, we talk about dark-skinned women, how dark-skinned men, I thought, I can say it myself, I thought that I would always say, I'm not going to date no light-skinned men. They soft. I said it out my own mouth. And I 100%, I can admit what I said. I was wrong, but I said it. And also, with Candace piggybacked of how we are raised to be separate, my dad is black, but he's also Dominican. My dad told me that you're never supposed to pay your bill. A man should provide and pay everything. I don't think that's the